Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, something gets in the way? You make a plan, you set a goal, you get excited for a fresh start, and then boom, procrastination. Boom, self-doubt. Life happens. And it hits like a wave that you didn't see coming. Suddenly, you're stuck again, wondering why motivation didn't last. Why fear keeps sneaking in the back door. That word was dough, D-O apostrophe, not door. Here's the thing, what if the reason that you're stuck isn't because you're not smart enough or disciplined enough? What if you're just missing a skill that most overlook, but the most successful people intentionally develop? Today, we're talking about that skill. And once you understand how to build it, you'll start showing up differently in your life. Not because your problems disappeared, but because you stopped shrinking in front of them. We all face the same internal resistance: procrastination, fear of failure, insecurity, that endless loop of starting strong and then fading when things get uncomfortable. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not behind. You're just human. And what you're feeling is simply a part of the process. But here's an encouraging truth. People who push past aren't always the most talented. They're not always the most prepared. They just developed the advantage of adaptability. Adaptability, it is your ability to shift, pivot, and respond. Many react in life, but those that win respond in life. And the difference is in not just surviving what life throws at you, but in taking a second, evaluating the situation, and intentionally making the choice to grow through whatever it is. Think of it like water. Water doesn't fight the rock in its path. It flows around it. It doesn't stop. It adjusts and keeps it moving. That's the power of adaptability. It's not about having the perfect plan, but it's about having a posture of resilience. Truth is, life will test you. Mother Teresa's quoted as saying, "I thought I had a handle on life and then the handle broke." Your goals will get shaken. Things will go sideways. Like Les Brown says, Murphy's gonna visit you. Murphy's Law, look it up. And when that happens, the question isn't, can I stick to the plan? It's, can I adjust without losing momentum? Look at entrepreneurs who lost everything and built back stronger. Athletes who came back from injuries and redefined their careers. Artists who heard no hundreds of thousands of times but decided to continue to create. They didn't get lucky, they responded with adaptability. So how does adaptability work? It isn't just a mindset. Like most things in life, it's a muscle that is worked and cultivated over time. It's built through practice and pressure. There are 3 components that form that muscle. Number 1 is flexibility. This is your ability to shift directions without falling apart. There were so many who had to pivot when COVID hit in 2020. There were so many businesses that went under. And those that chose to panic or give up went under. And those that were in a position to pivot kept going. And you hear countless stories of people that are like, yeah, COVID hit and we had to shift to mostly online business. We had to lean into video. But you know what? We ended up reaching more clients than ever that year. And what I want you to remember about this first component is that flexibility isn't weakness, it's wisdom. The second component is resourcefulness. This is where creativity kicks in. You don't always need more resources. You need to become more resourceful. Ask different questions, break patterns, think like a beginner again. In order to be resourceful, you must ask yourself questions like, what do I already have that I'm not using? Who can I learn from? What's a different perspective or a different way to solve this? People who wait to be perfect never start, but people who become resourceful, they get moving even with imperfect tools. Number 3 is learning agility. This is the super skill that ties it all together. Learning agility means you learn faster and apply faster. You stay curious, you stay humble, you ask for feedback even when it stings. skills. Because you know, mistakes don't define you, they refine you. So now that we know the three components, we know what adaptability is made up of. What are practical ways to train the muscle? Number one, seek feedback, even when it's uncomfortable. Growth isn't found in echo chambers. You need people around you who will tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear. So ask someone you trust, what's one thing that I'm not seeing that could help me here? Listen, don't defend, and just reflect on what they're saying. Number two, step into something new. Do something this week that stretches you. It doesn't have to be big, just unfamiliar. Start a conversation you've been avoiding. Try a new approach to a task. Say yes to an opportunity that's making you a little nervous. Remember that discomfort is the weight room of adaptability. Number three, reframe failure. Failure is feedback. It's the tuition you pay to become who you were meant to be. So considering we're paying the tuition, you say, I ain't paying the tuition. They take the tuition, like taxes. It cracks me up. The notion of paying taxes is hilarious when they take taxes. Anyway, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? That is the question that turns any setback into a comeback. Number four, reflect regularly. Schedule moments of stillness where you can journal, where you can pray, where you can take quiet walks. When life moves fast, reflection allows you to catch the lessons before they pass by. Ask yourself, where am I growing? What's shifting in me? Where do I need more awareness? And I made this simple video for you to remind you that adaptability, it is the bridge between your obstacles and your outcomes. It helps you navigate uncertainty with clarity. It helps you turn breakdowns into breakthroughs. It helps you bounce back. And when I say bounce back, not just to where you were, but beyond. And what I want you to hear the most is adaptability doesn't just change what you'll do. It changes who you'll become. Because in the process, you'll become more grounded, more confident, more creative. In the process, you'll stop waiting for ideal conditions and you'll start making real progress in this world. Ultimately, you'll become the type of person that doesn't just survive pressure. You become the type of person that grows through. There were two trees that grew side by side in the forest. There was a mighty oak and a slender bamboo. The oak towered with confidence. Its trunk was thick. Its branches were wide. It looked over at the bamboo and laughed, saying, man, come on, man. You bend too easily. Oak tree says, you're weak. Look at me. I stand tall. I'm unshaken. I can't be moved. Seasons passed, winds came, storms rolled in. And every single time a storm rolled in, the bamboo bent low, but it never broke. Then came the storm of the century. Winds howled, trees snapped, the forest shook. And the next morning, the oak tree was lying on its side, uprooted. But the bamboo was still standing. Why? Because the bamboo had a secret. It knew how to bend. It didn't resist change. It adapted to it. That's what adaptability does. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you resilient. And no, it's not the flashy strength of resistance. It's the quiet power of flexibility. And it's the very thing that will allow you to outlast every storm. So the next time life sends a storm your way, remember this. You don't have to be the oak, be the bamboo. Because the ones who bend are the ones that get to keep growing. Where in your life do you feel stuck right now? Is it a dream that is stalled? It is a door that is closed? A plan that isn't working? Before you ask, how can I fix this? I challenge you to ask, how can I adapt? Because when you develop adaptability, you stop being controlled by your circumstances and start creating change within them. And here's my challenge for you. Pick one strategy from today's message and apply it this week. Will you ask for feedback? Will you try something new? Will you reframe a recent failure? Or will you take time to reflect? Start small, but start. Because the life you want doesn't require perfection. It requires adaptability. Always remember that growth is a journey, it's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll see you on the next one.